It's false in a way, in a real way actually. It's false because majority of people in the world are not responsible for this. We don't have people in Kokosi contributing to the warming of the atmosphere by burning fossil fuels and things like that. It's all these so-called industrialists, the capitalists, the ones who are billionaires and whatever, that go around the world and are causing all sorts of environmental issues. Part of the environmental issue that we're looking at is how much they go around destroying the land in order for them to access all sorts of resources. If you look at Congo, for example, like these e-vehicles, like electronic vehicles and things like that, but then they need batteries, and batteries need lithium, which comes from the soil, African soil, and then it's children that are working there to produce the lithium, and then a lot of them, they die from mudslides, collapsing of the land over there, and there's also war that's engineered by imperialism there. So it's not really green, it's red, it's blood, so it's not green energy, it's red energy, because it's the blood of the masses of colonized people everywhere. So the issue here is not just climate change, but it's a system that needs to be changed. Based on the science that's out there right now, there is a warming of the atmosphere, which is caused by the whole burning of fossil fuels. But then there are alternatives to that, like biofuel. We, on a daily basis, we eat stuff, and then there's waste that's just around us that can be turned into energy. And we see young people inventing such stuff, and then nobody promotes them. Some of them even get killed and targeted because they're a threat. We come with this technology that can make it easy for people to cook without the need for you to of burning coal and things like that. No, you're gonna compromise us. Then we take you off. There's so much solutions. Like there's a cure for every other disease out there, but then they're not gonna put it out there because why? The pharmaceutical industry has to profit from that. There's whole sorts of ideas that have been presented in terms of papers, dissertations, theses, and all sorts of things that are out there. Even on, if you look at maybe TikTok now and other social media, there's people that are promoting their stuff, but then they will not get the necessary support because they contradict the agenda of promoting the dependency on the system, and that's gonna eventually undermines our ability to protect ourselves from these extremes. Of course, this is the UHURU movement, by the way. What Compactam is doing is not just an individual thing. It's the UHURU movement with the Kawash. So we're doing this not just to make money, but of course the branch is raising resources. But then beyond that, we're saying that young people, we can do this. It's not anything fancy. So Tami has a car wash, even if it's just, you have 20-liter buckets, and then of course, considering the whole water crisis, you have buckets and then you're washing cars.
So out here, Kokosi, member ye UHURU movement, yabona i-organization eqalwe ngu-chairman Omale Shitela owathathwa ngamabhulu during isikhathi seslavery, yabona bamsakala e-America. Then waqala waspana namanye wavula i-organization yabantu abamnyama ukuthi bathole ilizwe labo back, yabona bathole ilizwe labo back. So basically international movement, yabona African liberation. Masiqala la ekhawashuke sihleli boma 2 to 3 months customer next created customers car wash ngespan esisenzayo lo trans A1 esiyitholayo maybe ngenyanga at least inyanga izisa ezinye trans uyabona andithi abantu bayakhuluma thethe ukuthi hayi nenhlambi isikayikayi yabona ukuthi hayi iclean very sharp into yonke top notch. Then after ke hayi sithola njalo i-customer sibe singaskimanga abantu abane-trans into abantu sibaskime ngale car wash besazi isibane sethu uyabona.
But then our communities, they're always given the image of being non-productive, and the people being sort of uninterested in any form of development. You've heard how the local politicians speak. People are not interested. Yeah, we tried doing this, and then they don't want to do. They just want to say it. It's not true that thing. If one post goes out to say that they are looking for young people who are going to be security guards, or let's meet at the grounds because you'll see all the young people will be there, and they won't even be able to employ all those people. So, and then they turn around and say the young people don't want jobs. You see, so we also have to beat this false narrative that's designed to demoralize our people and to deal with the self-esteem of our people. So it's a crisis of a social system that we live under, and that sounds like a cliche of some sort to say, nah, a system. These guys always want to talk about a system, but it's real. And just because a lot of people, some people don't want to hear about it, or it's been around for too long that people don't want to hear you talk about it anymore. They want to accept it as a norm. Most things are accepted as normal. Like, for example, the fact that we live in townships, it's normalized. It's a township. That's where that's where I grew up. But then there's a history behind this. And when you look at the whole thing around the water crisis, it's a symptom, just like many other symptoms. There's always something in the township. If it's not water, it's electricity. If it's not electricity, then it's roads. If it's not roads, it's waste. If it's not waste, it's housing and all these things. So somehow, African people, in the townships in particular, we cannot get what we need. Why? Because the political economy that we live under is not designed to ensure that we get what we need to satisfy our needs as a people.
Yeah, well, sometimes I figure that's what inkomo sezimoshile. Amanzi akasekho clean. Funeka niwalinde iqala cenge kahle. Bendiza 3 to 4 times a day. 3 to 4 times a day. Nakho la singuthi ndiyafika yiso ndiyafika kusole uyabona kunamntu. I just sobe ukuthi ngeke ibe into ya forever. Yabona? Mesibeka amagriva ila. Dabuda. Akungeni igriva ngapha. Sibeka amagriva ile siyakha sibeka izinto then after start siyada. Akho griva ingena yakho dustbin engena yi. Sicela ngala zonke. And ezinye ke eziselede ezingabiwa lokubiwa especially dustbin. Nabanye ababebele dustbin athi esibhizi sikuqile ngapha. Ufika abafethu bathatha dustbin gone. Yabo.
Apartheid really began in 1948, but separating black Africans from the white minority had long been a policy aim. Laws made white people officially superior, and the large black majority faced discrimination in every aspect of their lives. Living, doing business or owning land in white areas was banned. There were separate public facilities, transport and schools. Interracial marriage was banned. Many had no right to citizenship and were regarded as aliens in major cities.
You know, like we're living in a capitalist system, and the capitalist social system, it's a colonial mode of production. You know, it rests on the backs of African people, the dispossession of Africans, the exploitation of African people. So now, if you have within the African population, you have people that have interests that you know, contradict the general interest of the masses. You know, they begin to act in these ways. You know, so this system that was born from the attack on Africa is able to breed within the African nation a class or even ideas, you know, aspirations that mirror the aspirations of the colonial masters. You know, you want to be rich because you can see all these riches out there. You know, so you lose your sense of patriotism, you know, for your people. You know, so we have, you know, within the African nation, a class of people that have interests that, you know, just totally contradict the general interest of the masses of people. You know, so and those people are highly motivated. You know, they really believe that they deserve more within this system, and they come out with confidence. And when you look at the masses of the people, the African working class, demoralized, you know, a bit down, you know, supposed to speak, you don't have the confidence, I don't have the look, I don't have the etiquette in terms of, I mean, I don't have the verbiage, I don't have the jargons, I cannot use the right language to express myself. So I need someone who's so-called educated, or someone who's within the system to speak for me. But that person cannot speak in my interest. So they always betray us. Like even from the inception of this whole thing, like children of kings and chiefs taken to these missionary schools, they learn, you know, the values of the white men, that somehow capital is necessary in society, exploitation, and they want a piece of the pie. So even when they organize movements, it's not to liberate us from this colonial mode of production. It's so that the system can be more accessible to them. So that's something that within this community we still have to acquaint ourselves with, so that we can organize based on the interest of the masses of the people. What the system does, this colonial mode of production, is that it presents things as being isolated. That you have the water department, then you have the agricultural department, and all, but all these things are interconnected. And even in terms of how they should work, they have to work in that sense that they are interconnected. How can you, a municipality like the Merafong Municipality, be owing the Department of Water and Sanitation, whatever, rainwater, 2 billion? Like, why should it even, like, why does this entity owe the other entity when they're supposed to be serving the same purpose? How did it even get there? You know, so it's business basically. It's not even about what people need, it's about business. So this entity is pushing its own agenda in terms of the profit it wants to make, and this municipality is full of these charlatans that have been voted in there, but they just want to eat. They just want to feed themselves because they have like maybe 5 years within that post as a mayor or within the municipal council and things like that. They're not really concerned about satisfying the needs of the people. While growing up, you remember very well, we used to pay for electricity. We had stations where we just go and buy electricity. Everyone was paying for that. But these guys that we vote for are the ones that initiated this whole thing of, no, don't worry, we'll take care of everything. You don't have to pay. We can even come to your house, and then we do some stuff, and then you won't have to pay for electricity. We'll even give you some grants. So it's these type of concessions that are not sustainable to begin with, and then when things are no longer working, they have to blame the masses to say the masses don't want to pay for anything, don't want to pay for electricity, don't want to pay for water, you know. But then at the same time, it is the people who are working to produce all this value. All value is produced by the African working class. All material value is produced by abantu basekas. The ones who are told that they don't pay for anything, you know, we are always looking out for freebies, into mahala. they are the ones who work to produce amanzi. They're the ones who work to produce food. But at the same time, we are told that we are the ones who don't want to pay for anything. But the system is designed in such a way that we are dispossessed, we don't have land, we don't own any means of production. The only thing that you own is your labor. And then the only way for you to survive is to sell your labor to the bourgeoisie. And these guys, when you sell your labor, they only pay you enough to go and eat bread, get a little bit of energy and come and work the next day.